Hi again! Last time I promised to show you how to build an L3 out, but we're not there yet. Instead, I want to show you how to quickly scale up the number of similar objects like bridge domains, VRFs, EPGs, whatever object you want to scale from 1 to 10 or 50 or 100, whatever number you want. And for this, we're going to be using loops and variables. So if this makes sense, let's push out the L3 out and focus on loops and variables in this video. So let's begin. And I usually say that we start with an empty working directory, but this time we have some files already here. That's because I want to continue from the point where we left off our last video. So if you remember, we have created a tenant. So I have a diagram here that was a tenant vanilla with a global VRF, a global bridge domain, and we had two EPGs, a web EPG and the app EPG. So in this video, I will be showing you first how to create more EPGs. This is the power of automation. You are able to create, to scale the similar objects to some crazy amounts like 10, 20, 50, 100. So in this specific example, the only difference is that we're gonna remove our web EPG, and instead we will create web 1 EPG, web 2 EPG, and web 3 EPG. So all of them are going to be connected to the bridge domain global, and then same structure, the global VRF and the global tenant. So this is exactly the code that we used in a previous video. So just to guide you through it again, it declares the provider, then it configures the provider, then we create a tenant, we create a VRF, we create a bridge domain, subnet for this bridge domain, then application profile, web EPG, application EPG, and then we also add all the EPGs into something called prefer group to allow communication between these objects. So we're going to be using this, and this configuration is not yet in the ACI fabric, so we'll have to push it first to the ACI. So let's do terraform init to download the provider, and then let's do terraform plan. So it plans to add 8 objects. So do terraform apply order proof. So all that stuff you should know already. And if we go now to our ACI, we see that we have tenant vanilla. If we go into this tenant, we should be having application profile. And as I said, 2 EPGs, app EPG and web EPG. Okay. So if we want to clone this web EPG and create 3 EPGs out of it, what we can do, one option is simply copy paste, right? So we can use this resource 3 times and create 3 different EPGs. But this is not convenient. 3 is fine, but if you create 20 or 50, it's not very convenient. So instead, what we are going to use is we are going to use loop here. So the loop is like this. We say for each, and then so when we create EPG, basically everything, all the configuration inside this EPG is kind of same. One thing that changes is the name. So it's going to be web 1 EPG, web 2 EPG, web 3 EPG. So here we need to specify some data structure, and it's done like this. That will just iterate through some values. Web 1 EPG, comma, web 2 EPG, comma, web 3 EPG. And then the name for this object is not going to be some fixed name anymore. Instead, we should use keyword each. So this will basically refer us to, point us to this loop. And we say each value. So what we have done here is basically we say, Terraform, please run this resource as many times as you have values in there, and run it every time, changing this, picking one of the specific values from this set, from this list. Okay, so let's save it and let's do Terraform plan. So it's not gonna work. Why? Because here it says that for each argument must be a map or set of strings, and you have provided a value of type tuple. So what you have to do here, it's easy to fix. Here you use toSet, and you convert this list into a set. What does it mean? It will discard any order that this list have, and it will also remove any duplicates that this list contains. Again, so this for each loop, it only accepts a map or a set, nothing else. So now as we fix this, it should be working. Let's do Terraform plan. And as you see, it wants to destroy one object that is the old EPG, and it wants to add 3 more objects that are the new EPGs. So let's apply and let's see what happens. Yeah. In ACI, you see we have Web EPG1, Web EPG2, and Web EPG3. So this worked. And of course, if you want to create more, what you need to do is you need to expand this list with whatever names that you want. However, this is not very convenient. Why? Because sometimes you want your configurations or the naming to be in some central location, in a separate file, because if you create many objects in a file like this, you will have, every time you want to change something, for example, for this web EPG, you will have to scroll up and down to find where you actually hard-coded the names. So what I will show you is how to create a variable that will actually contain this set, and we will, from here, we will be just calling this variable and run this resource like this. So to create a variable, you have to do 2 things. One, you have to announce or declare the variable, and second, you need to give it some value. So in order to declare a variable, what we do is we create a new file which called variables tf. And what we say here is that we have a new variable. So the name for the variable is going to be web EPG set, just to point out this is going to be a set, and we don't need curly braces in here. We need this, and we say web 1 EPG, comma, web 2 EPG, comma, and web 3 EPG. Right, so actually I was a bit ahead of myself. Yeah, this we need to do. Yes, I was giving a value already, but what we need to do first is we need actually to specify the time. So this is the file where you do the declaration. So the declaration is that this variable is a set of strings, right? And then, yes, you indeed need curly braces in here. Okay, so this is one file. Again, this is variable declaration. Now we need to do something that is called variable definition. For this, you need to create another file, which is called Terraform tf vars. So pay attention to the extension here. It should be tf vars. So, and in here, actually, you specify that this variable web EPG set, and then here we give it a value. So I just copy and paste the value that I already was typing into that previous file. Okay. So we have variable declared, we have variable defined, and now the only thing is we need to refer to this variable here. So we say for each, and we say var, and then we provide the name of this variable, web EPG set. So if I haven't mistyped anything, that should work. So you see, because we didn't introduce any change in configuration, basically it didn't change anything. But since it worked, it means that the variable is usable. And actually we can run through a small example. So let's say we want to have it's actually 5 and 6, 3 or 4 and 5. Let's delete this comma. So if we do now Terraform plan, it should be adding 2 more. Yeah, it plans to add 2 more EPGs. So if we apply this, we should see now, yeah, that we have more EPGs. But yeah, I want to destroy them. So let's get rid of this. Let's actually stick to the diagram and use just 3. Okay. Now, if we go back to the diagram, we see you see that we have achieved what we wanted. We have built 3 EPGs instead of 1. And now I want to show you how to do more fancy stuff, how to use variables to build something, some objects that are connected to each other. So let's keep this part with the web EPG as it is right now, but let's now go to the application EPG, app EPG, and let's change something here. So let's create 2 more bridge domains with the names bd 10.0.1.0 and 10.0.2.0. And let's create 2 more EPGs, app EPGs, and each of this EPG will be connecting to a respective bridge domain. So not to the old one, not to the global BD, but each of them will be connected to a dedicated bridge domain. So in order to do this, we first need to create a additional bridge domain, 2 additional bridge domains. So I will copy this resource, and we cannot have 2 resources of the same type having the same local name. So here I would say bd app local name, but we want to create 2, you remember. So let's do for each, and let's use var, and the name is gonna be app bd again set, because it's going to be a set, and the name is going to be each value. So now what we need to do here is we need to add another set, which will be our first in the variables. We need to announce it, we need to declare it, variable app bd set, and it also gonna be the type of set of strings. We save it, and here we give it a value. We say app bd set equals to bd, and let me look up the names. So it should be bd 10.0.1.0, bd 10.0.1.0, and also bd 10.0.2.0, like this. 2 subnets or 2 bridge domains. App bd set, So let's do Terraform plan. So it wants to remove 2 EPGs and it wants to add 2 bridge domains. Let's do this. If we go to ACI now and take a look at the bridge domains, we see that we have 2 more bridge domains. So let me show you the diagram again. And as you can see, we need 2 more EPGs and we need to connect each EPG to its respective bridge domain. So let's work on this. So this was our web EPG. Now we go to the app EPG. So let's do the following. Let's do again for each cycle because we need 2. And then we use variable that we will call app EPG. But this time we are not going to use set. What we are going to use is called a map, and you will see now why. So the name is going to be something different. Let me first announce this app EPG map. Let's save this. So we announce a new variable with the name app EPG web. So it's going to be a map. So the type is map. So the map is when you have a list of keys and values, but in this case we're gonna have keys, but as a value we have something that is object. An object in this case is going to be a set or an array of named variables. So it may sound complex, but you will see from this example how it works. So for now, just look at this. We need to specify the map, and in this map we'll have object, and again we open here object, and so we want to map a EPG to a bridge domain. So here we specify BD, or actually app BD, and then the type is string, right? And then we need to close this, yeah, like this. We need to close this too, and it should be fine like this, I guess. So in the Terraform TF-vars, now we give value to this variable. So we say web, or actually not web, but app EPG map, and then the value is going to be like this. The value is going to be like this. First, we specify a key. So key in this case is going to be the name of the EPG. So we say app1 EPG, and then we have to map it to our, no, I need to close this. We have to map it to our bridge domain. So to do this, we are using, how did we announce it here? Yeah, appbd. So we are using this keyword appbd, and we say that this one should be connected to bridge domain bd 10.0.1.0. This is one element. So this is the key, and this is the value or named value. When you refer to the value, you will have to give it to you will have to specify name. You will see this in the example. And app2 EPG that we need to create, and here it will be appbd will equal bd 10.0.2.0. okay, so this is our map of object, a complex variable. Now, if we go back to our main file, so here we say for each variable which has a name app.epg map, we have to create an EPG and to give it a name. So the name is going to be each key, right? So I told you, if we go to the variable, the key here is the name of the EPG, right? Then the next line is basically says that we need to associate this application EPG to an application profile, so we can leave it as is because they are associating to the same application profile that they were before. But here it's different. This line is about relation to the bridge domain. And we have created two bridge domains, so we cannot just use the identifier here to point to the bridge domain, right? Because there are two. So how does the system know that there are two? So here where we use our map, we say, so we want to connect the first EPG to a bridge domain. So it's going to be, it's going to be each value, and then we specify which specific value we want to use. We want to use the app.bd named attribute. So this is the name of this attribute that we want to use. So in other words, this for each loop will iterate through the app.epg map, and the name for the EPG will come from the key, but then the bridge domain that this EPG relates to will come from the value with the name app.bd. So let's try and plan Terraform plan app EPG web. So I probably didn't save something. App EPG web. Of course. So it's not the web. App EPG map, right? App EPG map. App EPG map. And here app EPG map. Yeah, correct. So let's plan again. And something is not right. Probably I misspelled something. Each value. Let me check the configuration. So bd local name, each, then value app.bd, app.bd string. And here app.bd 10.0.1.0, 10.0.2.0, app1 EPG, app2 EPG. So everything app EPG, each value app.bd, everything seems to be right. So let's read what it wants. The given key does not identify the element in this collection. Each value app.bd. I know what is the problem. Yeah, so we have, as you remember, we have created a new set of bridge domains. So here we have bd local name, and here we have bd app local name. So I forgot to change it here. So it should be the app local name. Now it should not be complaining. Yeah, so it plans to add 2 more EPGs, and let's see now if they are connected to the right bridge domains that we are going to use. So if we go to ACI now, and let me refresh to make sure. So we have app EPG1, and if we, wait a sec. Yes, if we go and see which bridge domain it connects, it's bd 10.0.1.0, and web and app EPG, app2 EPG should be connected to, yes, 10.0.2.0. So this is how you can use variables. Now you have your structure of the object that you want to create. It's basically specified in this separate file, so you can easily change the names, you can easily change the bridge domains, you can easily change this map of the EPG and the related bridge domains, and then they will use this file, the main TF plan, to actually go and push the object. So this is quite convenient. One thing I didn't do is actually, because we created 2 additional bridge domains, but we didn't create subnets for those bridge domains. So in order to create subnets, you can also change the variable appbdset to appbdmap and actually map each bridge domain to a subnet, right? So you will have to create 2 new subnets and use this map to map each subnet to each bridge domain. But this is something that I want to give you as a homework. So I will be publishing the files that I was using here on the GitHub. You will have the link in the description. So it will have the full solution with the subnets. But if you want to practice, just try it on your own and add the subnets and connect them to the respective bridge domains. So that's it for today. So in the end, we have built a tenant that looks like this diagram. On the left, you see that we have a number of web EPGs. All of them are sharing the same bridge domain, BD global. So this is something that in ACI terminology we call application-centric deployment. And on the right, you see that we have app EPGs, and each EPG has a dedicated bridge domain connected to it. So usually this bridge domain represents the VLAN in your old network. And this is what we call the network-centric approach. Cisco does not encourage us to use this terminology anymore, but people stick to it, people keep using. So if you hear network-centric versus application-centric, at least you know what is the difference. Anyways, the point of this video was to show you how to quickly scale the number of objects using loops and variables. Next video is probably be about the E03 out or something else, I'm not yet sure. Anyways, thanks for watching this one, and till the next time.